of the year. First time out, Pedro Martinez overpowered Atlanta with a career-high 16 strikeouts. In Game 2, Brian Jordan's hot hitting and Javi Lopez's ninth-inning heroics put the Braves on top. In the rubber match, Javi once again Mr. Clutch, John Rocker the save.
Swing and a miss at the knuckleball.
Can you believe it? He caught the ball. He caught the ball. The Atlanta Braves are giving you a championship.
Hello again, everybody. Along with Joe Simpson, Skip Carey, welcoming you to another night of Atlanta Braves baseball. Braves home at Turner Field. A capacity crowd is gathering to watch Atlanta and the Boston Red Sox get together. Great series in Boston, but boy, the cast of characters a little different now about a month later.
Yeah, a few changes now, Skip. The heroes, Javi Lopez, Pedro Martinez, among others, for the Braves and the Red Sox. Neither one will appear in this series. The Red Sox have fallen on some hard times. They've lost 3 in a row. In fact, they got swept by Tampa Bay because they've got a lot of guys missing out of their lineup. Nomar Garciaparra will not play tonight. He might return tomorrow. And John Valentin also out of their lineup. He's on the disabled list, might play as late as Sunday. And, of course, for the Braves, Javi Lopez, as you know, not in there. But these two teams hooked up with some great baseball in Boston. We'll hope for more of the same. The Braves, it's kind of odd. When you look at their record for the year, they're playing much better baseball against the better teams. When you talk about teams sometimes playing to their level of competition, well, the Braves are doing that, and they're playing their best baseball against teams like Boston, while against teams with a 500 record or below, they're not playing quite as well. So maybe we'll see Boston bring out the best in Atlanta this weekend.
Pitching change for Atlanta. Bruce Chen will be on the mound. Odalis Perez under the weather. And a veteran, Bret Saberhagen, will go against him. Back with the starting lineups. Play-by-play story right after this.
A great night for baseball here at Turner Field. The Braves have already taken the field, so let's take a look at the Pepsi AC Jewel starting lineups. First for the Red Sox, Chad Fonville has just returned from the minor leagues, and he'll get his first start tonight for Boston. Darren Lewis and Damon Buford will follow. Mike Stanley will bat cleanup. Troy O'Leary's a guy that has really been a pain in the neck to Atlanta. Look at his career numbers against the Braves pitchers. Lou Merloni has been filling in at shortstop for Garciaparra. And a young man that I'm anxious to see play, Wilton Veras, has gotten off to a good start playing at third base for Valentin. Former Georgia Texter Jason Varitek will do the catching for 35-year-old veteran Bret Saberhagen, who will bat ninth. For the Braves, defensively, Klesko, Andrew Jones, and Jordan in the outfield. Walt Weiss returns tonight at shortstop after a night off. Boone and Simon on the right side. Eddie Perez will do the catching. And Bruce Chen, the surprise tonight in that he was not scheduled to pitch. As Skip just told you a couple of minutes ago, Odalis Perez has been battling a flu bug and did not feel well enough tonight to go to the mound, and Bruce Chen gets the start instead. And actually this was good for him in terms of timing, because his last start came in Norfolk on the 4th of July. He won that ball game at AAA, went 5 innings, walked 2, struck out 7. So this is on his regular turn, and he'll try to pick up his first win of the year at the big league level. 15-8 last year in the minor leagues, 2-0 with Atlanta. Here are your umpiring quartet: Charlie Williams, Greg Bonet, Ed Rapawano, and the crew chief, Frank Pulley, who will work at third. Good to see the Red Sox and Jimmy Williams, their manager, back in town. Should be a good series.
And Chad Fonville will lead it off, the former Dodger, former White Sox. Just recalled. And he fouls the first pitch off, and we're underway. At Pawtucket, Fonville was hitting just .240, a homer, 12 RBI. He shortened a bunt, took it low. Speed is his game. He's out of Jacksonville, Florida. Strike 2 called over the inside corner. Bruce ready to go to work. Fouled the fastball back.
It's not just the names you recognize like Garciaparra that are missing from the lineup, but also some infielders like Jeff Fry, who have been placed on the list. Scott Hatteberg, Mark Guthrie, and Ramon Martinez hasn't pitched all year, but he is with the team right now.
2-2 the count. Yeah, they have really. We think we got problems.
Tom Gordon, their closer, on the DL.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Garcia Parra, I believe this is his 6th straight game that he has missed.
Fonville fouls another one back. The Chop House is packed tonight. So is the 755 Club. And so is Turner Beach. Fouled another one back.
Bruce Chen's difficulties in spring training followed him a little bit to the big leagues in that he was having a little trouble getting his changeup down. But he's pitched well in recent starts at Richmond. We'll see if he's worked on that.
Walt Weiss has it. Fonville is out, 1 down. Darren Lewis, the batter, the former Giant, hitting .257. 10 stolen bases, just 2 homers, 20 runs driven in. The Red Sox 48-37 for the year. They can use the All-Star break. They're all beat up. Bunt on the first baseline. Randall Simon has it and makes it out of the baseline, so he's out. 2 down. No argument from Lewis. 2 away.
Randall had to get to this ball quickly to set up this positioning to make Lewis run around him. If he hadn't gotten there in time, Lewis could have made a beeline right down the line to the bag. Good job, and another heads-up play by Randall Simon at first base.
Damon Buford, the batter, a .261 hitter. Boy, when you got a guy hitting third in your lineup with just 2 homers, you're in a little trouble. High pop foul back. That'll reach the seats.
They're not a team that hits a lot of home runs either, Skip. They're 12th in the American League in homers, despite playing in a home run friendly ballpark, at least to left field.
The 1-1 pitch. Right in there. It's 1-2. My favorite announcer, Chip Carey, here at the ballpark tonight. He'll go to the game on Fox tomorrow.
Well, that's news to me. Since when is he your first?
My first one.
Favorite.
Blood is thicker than water, buddy.
All these nice little flowery things you've been saying to me lately, and now the other shoe drops.
Yeah, well, Chip and I were talking on the way and trying to imagine you with a personality. Check, swing, strike, still 3-2.
I got 1 or 2 over here for you.
Yeah,
too.
I gave you the list.
Yeah.
Kim Klein in the Braves office gave me a list of insults, most of which we dare not use.
No, but most of them very applicable either way.
Yeah, I think so. A 2-out walk, and Mike Stanley will be the batter, a .279 hitter with 11 homers. Chen walked 29 in 74 innings, struck out 96 out of it. Good. Strike called, 0-1.
Their offensive struggles, Skip, extend beyond just the home runs. They're 11th in the American League in runs scored per game, 12th out of 14 teams in stolen bases, 8th in batting average, but their pitching is outstanding. First in earned run average in the American League, first in shutouts, tied for first in saves, first in strikeouts. That's the only thing that's keeping their head above water at the moment, is the good pitching.
Boy, you could have a heck of an argument about who the best pitcher in baseball is. Is it Roger Clemens? Is it Martinez? Is it Maddox? Randy Johnson?
Kurt Schilling?
Kevin Brown, though he's not having a big year this year. cut there for Stanley. It's 0-2.
I was talking to Jimmy Williams in a radio interview before the ball game about the series in Boston with Atlanta, and he said the first thing out of his mouth was pitching. Pitching dictates ball games, and there was good pitching that series and close games.
He's a class act.
Yes, he is.
There goes the runner. Pitch out is called. High throw. Still got him, inning over. I think Bobby just stole a sign from his old buddy. No hits, no runs, no errors, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the first, no score.
Bottom half of the first inning for Atlanta. Bobby Cox's lineup reads like this: Weiss, Boone, and Chipper. Then Jordan, the cleanup hitter, who's on a pretty good rampage. He's hit in 11 straight games. Chipper himself has hit in 8 straight. Brian Klesko will follow Brian Jordan, and Andrew Jones, Simon, Perez, and then Bruce Chen round out the order. For the Red Sox defensively in the outfield, Troy O'Leary, Damon Buford, and Damon Lewis in the outfield left to right. Wilton Veras is at third base, Lou Merloni at short, Chad Fonville at second, Mike Stanley at first. Jason Varitek will do the catching for 35-year-old, 2-time Cy Young winning Bret Saberhagen. 5-2 this year. 20-11 with Boston over the last 3 years, and something on top of what he's done since his return from the DL. He is, over the last 2 years, 15-4 for the Red Sox when he pitches following the loss. That's a sign of a pretty good stopper.
Yes, it is, boy. And if he hadn't had all this arm trouble in his career, he'd have great numbers. There's a line drive off the bat of Weiss into deep right, but it's going to be caught. That ball was spanked. Darren Lewis got a good jump. Battled the sun and hauled it in, 1 down. Good to see Walt hit the ball that hard.
He's been struggling and trying to find something that's comfortable for him at the plate after his stint on the DL.
He's 1 out of 26, I believe it is, since then. You start going through something like that, you feel like you're never going to get another hit.
Right.
Good live fastball. It's 0-2. Boone 1 out of 3 in his career against Saberhagen, who was born in Chicago but grew up in California. High chopper. Merloni to his left. Can't get the ball out of his glove. Now he does. Just in time, 2 down. That's a helpless feeling too.
You know,
you're running and you can't get the ball out.
Once, twice, finally on the 3rd try it comes out just in time. Saberhagen's career marks: now 161 wins, 111 losses. He's had so many stints on the disabled list that takes up about a half a page in the media guide, including 2 stints this year.
Oh, and 1 to Chipper. He's got an 8-game hitting streak working, and he lines that one to right. That's got a chance. That's gone. He hit a breaking ball out of here, and the Braves lead. Boy, is he hot. Make it a 9-game hitting streak. 21 homers, 55 RBI.
Skip, that ball had barely reached the seats when Saberhagen looked in at his catcher, Jason Varitek, almost in disbelief that Chipper got around on that ball. It didn't look like a strike. Let's look at it. He's crowding the plate, and he went down and golfed it. He told me before the game he is seeing the ball out of the pitcher's hands so well right now. That's what's leading to this big surge in his hitting.
Brian Jordan comes up a little late.
And part of what he talked about in seeing the ball is that he picks it up so quickly out of the pitcher's hand. He can pick up the spin right away and recognize breaking balls versus fastballs and make adjustments.
0-2 to Brian, who, by the way, has had great luck against Saberhagen. 5 out of 11, a home run included against him. 0-2 the count. Short right field, that dunks in there, and he holds it first. The third one out there. 12-game hitting streak for him. Ryan Klesko, the batter.
Bret Saberhagen and his arm trouble, Skipper, was nothing new when he got to the big league level. In fact, when he was in high school, he was drafted as a shortstop because he had some arm trouble in high school. Very good athlete out of California. Royals knew where his future was, though. They put him on the mound where he had started in high school.
Pulled the string on Ryan. 0-1. Jordan a lead. If you break contact with the rubber first, you can do that little bluff over to first base. Close, got it.
Wow, what a move.
Yeah, that was a very different move he used. Stepped off as if he wasn't going to throw and then threw.
You don't see that very often, but because he stepped off, he didn't have to step. He just spun around. Great move.
A run on 2 hits, nobody left at the end of an inning. 1-0 Atlanta.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Mike Stanley was at the plate when Buford was thrown out stealing. So he leads off the second and takes a strike from Bruce Chen.
By the way, Eddie Perez, with that caught stealing, up to 34% for the year. He's 13 out of 38.
Well, I'm amazed that he's doing as well as he is. I mean, he has caught every inning for 20 straight games. High fastball took care of Stanley. 1 away.
Chin music. Which is commonly referred to as the high heater. Queso.
Yes, it is. Chin music. I like that.
Okay.
Did you think of that all by yourself? I bet Kathy
just came to me.
Pop foul back and out of play.
Jim Guadagno with the Braves wanted to wish his father Vincent Guadagno up in New York a happy 75th birthday. First opportunity we've had to do that. His birthday was a couple of days ago, but happy birthday, Mr. Guadagno, and your son's thinking of you.
And we think the world of him. He does a great job for the Braves.
Yes, he does.
1-1 the count.
Another old buddy of mine, 2 down from him. Scout for the Minnesota Twins, Larry Corrigan, here at the park tonight. Larry in the very colorful shirt there. Former All-American at Iowa State. He was one of those few guys in college that might pitch one game, Skip, and catch the next one.
Wow.
He could hit.
The 2-2. Got it. He knew it. No argument from O'Leary. He just heads toward the dugout. 2 strikeouts for Chen. Back to back.
Have you noticed anything about Bruce yet? I mean, this guy's very aggressive already in the first couple of innings. He's not toying around so much with his changeup. It looks like he wants to establish his fastball tonight, and it's working well for him, and he can go back to the changeup later.
2 down. And Lou Merloni, the batter. He's hitting .295 up here. Hit .292 with 3 homers and 18 RBIs in 37 games at Pawtucket. which is the Red Sox AAA farm. Wendell Kim coaches at third. Dave Joss at first for Boston. High pop. Perez and Simon on the move. Nobody can get it. And that poor bat boy had nowhere to go. He was sandwiched in between Perez and Simon.
That's a helpless feeling too, and you know that you're in the way and you don't know which direction to go.
But he was getting out of Eddie's way, and then he finally saw Randall, but he had no play anyway. No harm, no foul. Oh, he's got it all going right now. 1-2. Fought it off and stayed alive.
I honestly don't know Bruce well enough to know if this is a help for him tonight or not, but sometimes when you're a young pitcher, if you just come to the ballpark and they say, hey, you're pitching tonight.
Yeah, here's the ball.
Yeah. He hadn't had a whole lot of time to think or worry about it. He's going right after him tonight.
A little looper up the middle. Weiss has it. And the inning is over, and a very easy inning for Bruce Chan. No hits, no runs. No errors, nobody left. We go to the bottom half of the second inning. 1-0 Atlanta. Bottom half of the second inning about to unfold.
Gorgeous night here, isn't it?
Don't forget, Chop Talk is the official monthly magazine of the Atlanta Braves. Bobby Cox has a column. John Schuerholz the same. Story about all the Braves minor leaguers. There's the number, 1-800-700-CHOP. Jam-packed with news about the Atlanta Braves organization. Ryan Klesko, the batter. 1 ball, no strikes. Right through there. It's 1-1. Chipper Jones, a line drive homer in the first. That's the difference in the game to this point.
And including that home run tonight and Brian Jordan's base hit, these three guys in the middle of the order are going crazy.
Ryan 2 out of 10 in his career with a homer against Saberhagen.
Ryan had a home run and a double last night.
That home run was the way Babe Ruth used to hit him, too. Line to the left center field. He did that last night, too. All the way to the wall. Klesko on his way to second. He pulls in there with a double. And as for time, he's got to get the shin guard off his leg.
And they keep producing from the middle of the lineup, but it's just so much fun to watch Ryan hit when he's using the whole ballpark. We talked last night about how long he stayed on that home run. Look how long he stays with this ball and watches it come right off the bat into left center. He's not pulling off the ball, not trying to muscle it, and he's getting great results.
A guy as big and strong as he is, if he just hits the ball hard, the home runs will take care of themselves.
Right. The mistakes will come from pitchers who are trying to get him out. I think Don Baylor's influence has been outstanding.
0-1 to Andrew Jones.
Well, it happened. Arizona got their man.
Matt Mante goes to Arizona. Florida gets Vladimir Nunez, Brad Penny, plus a player to be named later. They get 2 pretty good pitchers themselves.
Florida?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Brad Penny was one of those prized possessions that Arizona had been reluctant to move anywhere. They have 3 real solid young pitchers in their minor league organization. Penny was one of them. And we saw Nunez not so long ago, and he's got a great arm.
Yes, he does. Hot shot, left field, base hit. Klesko will have to stop at third. He held up, hesitated for a moment, not knowing if the ball would get through. And was right to do so. Runners at first and third, nobody out.
Andrew Jones now 6 for 17 on the homestand with a home run. And he finds a hole, and the Braves are in business here in the second inning. But a compliment, I think, to the Arizona Diamondbacks, who saw a need. They had already focused in on a couple of guys that they wanted. Manti was one. Realized they had to, as Jerry Colangelo put it the other day, to get quality, you got to give up quality.
It's a good deal for the young reliever. Boy, he goes to a contender just like that. First and third, nobody out so far. Saberhagen has struggled.
He was on the disabled list in May with some right shoulder problems and then stepped on some glass and cut his foot. He was on the disabled list in June for that.
Oh, what a cut he had at a high fastball. Yeah, as I understand it, he threw a party for his teammates. And I guess somebody had dropped a bottle of beer or Coke or something. He didn't. Barefooted in his backyard, and
several stitches later,
the 0-1 pitch up and in. That Saberhagen noticed that cut from Randall. He's from the old school. That's the way he used to do it.
He sure is. Has always been a tough competitor and was mature beyond his years when he first arrived in big league camp with Kansas City as a 19-year-old kid.
High chopper gets by Fonville altogether. Runners at first and third. Randall goes halfway. Now comes back. He tried to throw that before he caught it. A break for Atlanta. He'll get an RBI. It'll be an error, I'm sure, on the second baseman. If not, there should be a federal investigation.
It looked like he was going to play back for the double play and then changed his mind and thought he could field the ball in the baseline and tag the runner and then get the double play, and was wrong on both accounts.
So the Braves are first and thirding him to death here, one way or the other. Eddie Perez hitting .236.
That was something else Jimmy Williams talked about tonight, is that in that series in Boston, neither side gave the other team extra outs. Braves have already gotten one here.
Curve hit on the ground to third. Should be a double play. Run is in out there. Bad throw. And Perez is safe. Fonville is having a nightmare out there. I assume Eddie will get an RBI. It's 3-0 Atlanta.
Boy, he got a perfect feed from Veras, too. Had plenty of time. Simon wasn't on him.
He had trouble getting it out of his glove.
The run was going to score if they didn't turn the double play, but instead of the double play, Braves still have a runner on base.
Chen trying to move the runner over. They give him an RBI, but apparently no error.
Can't assume the double play, I guess. Fielder's choice.
Chen again shows bump. And he does, and it's a good one. Stanley boots it. And he's safe. What is going on out there for Boston? That'll be a sacrifice. The score is working overtime tonight. A sacrifice and an E3.
Almost too much time here for Stanley. He wanted to make the tag too, didn't
he? He rushed it to make the tag do it the easy way.
Looked up, didn't have it, couldn't corral it, didn't get the throw in time. Fonville was there, though.
He's bounced around the field a little bit. 2 on, still 1 out. Walt Weiss lined out his first time. Let up outside. He's hitting .250 in his career against Saberhagen. 9 out of 36.
A good spot right here for Walt Weiss to break out.
Pop foul back and out of play. .3-4-0 for Atlanta. 0-0-2 for the Red Sox. right center for Weiss. Just hit it on the ground. You got a chance the way this inning is going. Fonville gets another opportunity. Hey, boots!
You were right.
They get the force play, but man, Saberhagen is.
And keep in mind something here. Chad Fonville has played in the big leagues, but he has not been back in the big leagues since September of 1997. He went back to the minors to try to work his way back up. This is his first start back in a big league uniform, and you know he's just fretting about what's happened here in the second inning after all his hard work.
Grady Little, a former Braves coach, looking on. He's Jimmy's bench coach. Well, here's Boone. He grounded to short his first time. And he hacks this one foul. Boone 1 out of 4 in his career against Saberhagen. They've had 3 chances to turn a double play tonight and have come up empty on all of them in this inning. A hit means a run. Good play by Jason Varitek there. And you young kids who want to be catchers, did you notice how far away he threw that mask? You're taught to do that.
Anybody within 10 feet would have taken that mask right in the head.
But you get it out of the way so you don't stumble over it when you're chasing the ball. They say, and I guess it's still true, Joe, that that's the fastest way to get to the major leagues. If you're a good athlete, is as a catcher, because everybody's always looking for it.
I would say that that's probably still holds true, Skip, but these days, as hard up as teams are around baseball for pitching, I'd have to say that pitching has usurped that position. Stunned you, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Struck him out and the inning is over, but not before. The Braves score 2 runs in peculiar fashion. 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 errors, 2 left. At the end of 2, 3-0 Atlanta. We go to the 3rd inning here. Atlanta enjoys a 3-0 lead. The lower end of the order, Wilton Veras, Jason Varitek, and Saberhagen, the first 3. Veras was playing at Double-A Trenton, where he hit .307 with 9 homers and 53 RBIs before being called up. Since joining the Red Sox, he's hitting .286 with a homer and 4 RBI. He, like so many infielders from the Dominican Republic.
I obviously am not up to snuff on all that goes on in the Red Sox minor league organization, but this guy hit .291 at Trenton last year with 16 homers. I'm trying to figure out why he's back there again.
It is hard to figure out. Who's playing third base at Pawtucket?
I don't know. I would guess that he's already up here by now. You had so many injuries.
Yeah. Foul to the screen. It's 1-1. Boy, this interleague play has been a disappointment to me, Joe. I thought it was so great when it started, but if you're going to play the same teams every year, it loses its luster. But that doesn't. That's out of here. It's 3-1. Second home run for Wilton Veras.
I already like him.
Yeah.
Big, strong guy, 6'1", 200 pounds. It's already his second homer since he got called up.
Chen gave up 10 homers in 74 innings in AAA.
Oh, that old hanging change. That pitch that was eating him up when he was up here before.
Here's Varitek hitting .253. He's doing all right. 9 homers, 31 RBIs. That's another guy they've got hurting, is their other catcher, Scott Atterbury. One and one the count.
Jason's numbers much better from the right side of the plate too. 271 mark, right-handed. Showed you Larry Corrigan earlier when he was a scouting director for Minnesota. He was among those that were trying to convince Jason to sign with the Twins when they drafted him in the first round. He later signed with Seattle. He's found a home in Boston.
And he's out of there on strikes. Third strikeout for Chen, first out of the inning. Here's Saberhagen, 0 for 2 this year as a hitter.
Right at the target on the outside corner. Good pitch and a good recovery after the home run.
How did baseball ever let one league go to a designated hitter and the other not? Isn't that foolish?
I don't know how that happened. I have to read up on that. Of course, it was in an effort to stir up a little more offense that they thought the fans wanted, but I don't know why one league did it and the other one didn't.
Saberhagen's out of there, 2 down. And here's Chad Fonville. He's had a tough time of it so far, but it's early in the game. He'd like to start redeeming himself right here. His troubles in this inning remind me of a third baseman from years ago with the St. Louis Cardinals when I was a kid named Tommy Glaviano. He committed 3 errors in the 9th inning in Brooklyn one day to cost the Cardinals a game in the first game of a day-night doubleheader. And he went to a movie between games. His teammates took him trying to cheer him up. Till they got there, he was starting to feel better till they got there because the movie was titled Dead on Arrival. 2 balls and a strike. It's even now, 2-2. Fonville grounded to short his first time. I always liked him when he was with the Dodgers. I thought he was going to be a good player.
He was always a threat because if he got on base, it was like if you walked him, it was like a double.
Fouled that one back. It's 2-2. And he hit 500 in a playoff series, as I recall. Full count. Played all 3 games at shortstop. Hit 500 with the Dodgers, 6 out of 12 in the '95 division series against Cincinnati. The 3-2. He walked him. Second walk for Bruce Chen. And Darren Lewis, the batter.
Keep an eye on him because he likes to run. They are down near the bottom in stolen bases, but a lot of that you could attribute to Fenway Park, playing for big innings and long balls. Not necessarily the case when they're on the road.
Eddie got crossed up and thus goes to the mound to talk it over with Chen.
You might have noticed something too about that delivery where it looked like Bruce was really trying to hump up on that fastball and opened up a little quick, and as a result pushed it up high. And maybe Eddie just was trying to go out and tell him to calm down, stay with your motion. You don't have to overpower the baseball.
1 ball, no strikes. Chase the runner back. Fonville is a threat to go at any given moment.
Pitch before. Watch his front side open up real early. Kind of spinning on his front foot.
Fly ball foul evens the count at 1-1. Yeah, I think you're right. Eddie, I don't think Eddie was crossed up on the pitch looking at it again. A ball and a strike. By the way, Javi Lopez really turned on the ball today a few times in batting practice. By far the best he's swung since he got hurt. 2 balls and a strike. He's starting to fall behind hitters. He wasn't doing that in the first 2 innings of the game. But a long home run will do that to you. You start pitching maybe a little bit too carefully.
You know, back to Javi, he hasn't hit that much. He hasn't been allowed to hit that much, and he's kind of feeling his way through this with that brace on his knee, and I'm sure as each day goes by he'll have more and more confidence.
On the corner, it's 2-2. Lewis grounded to Simon his first time. Wendell Kim runs through the signs at third base. Not much you can tell him though. 2-2 unless you send the runner from first. The 2-2 pitch not running. Looped into right field. Jordan is there and the inning is over. A hit and a run. A home run by Veras. No errors, 1 left. Bottom of the third. 3-1 Braves.
These games in progress on the Office Depot scoreboard. Cincinnati leads Cleveland. Milwaukee on top of Detroit 2-1. Tampa and Florida are tied. Toronto on top of Montreal in a battle of Canadian teams. Philadelphia beating Baltimore 2-0. Schilling on the mound there. Mets leading the Yankees 1-0 at Shea Stadium. Cubs, White Sox, Houston, Kansas City also underway.
What a play by Merlone. Highway robbery and 1 out. Lou Merlone took a base hit away from Chipper. Outstanding.
The way Chipper's going right now, it takes plays like this to record an out against him. Full stretched out dive and nice play. Good recovery, getting to his feet so quick too. Nice play.
Brian Jordan, the hitter. Go ahead, Joe, if you got more scores.
Well, we had one more I'll pass along to the folks. Pittsburgh's at Minnesota tonight. They're scoreless after 1 inning. But you can find out about all the finals tonight if you check into cnnsi.com.
1-1 to Jordan. Pittsburgh and Minnesota. Boy, but they got a mob for that one. A ball and a strike.
You know, the other night, Wednesday night, and ordinarily if I've got a night off, you know, I'll kind of tune into the game periodically, see how things are going. But I found myself Wednesday night listening to Ernie Johnson. Kind of like it's kind of like one of those things like Paul Harvey. You know, just kind of goes to your bones. It makes you feel good when you hear their voice. And it was really soothing and nice to listen to Ernie for a while do the game the other night.
That's the big brother I never had right there. I love that man. And Lois. They're great people. In fact, we're going to break bread with them Monday night during the break.
Brian Jordan's career high for hitting streaks, 13 games. That was back in August of '95.
The 1-2 pitch. Stairs, 2-2. Tomorrow here, Tom Glavine and Mark Portugal will get together. And then Sunday, it's Greg Maddux and Jin Ho Cho. See, Sunday's probably on TBS, isn't it? Yep. We'll have it for you at 1:05 on TBS Sunday. Right back where it came from. 2 out.
Saberhagen's always been a good fielder. He's a good hitter. Just an all-around good athlete, good player. Could pinch run for you if you needed him to. And I'm sure if you got short on players late in a ball game, if you needed somebody to go to the outfield or even play a little shortstop, he could do it.
Was he over there? He was there at the same time Cohn was there, right?
David was hurt. David tore up his knee in a spring training collision at home plate covering on a wild pitch, and Bret beat him to the big leagues. Partially, if my timing is correct on that, because David was slowed up by an injury.
And Paul Spedorf was over there. They had pretty good pitching staff.
Larry Gura.
Yeah. John Scherholz was over there as well. The 0-1.
Yeah, but John doesn't like for you to bring up those David Cohn days in Kansas City much.
Little head peeking around.
Yeah, I was, but he's pretending to be on the telephone. Traded to the New York Mets for catcher
I want to
Ed
say
Hearn.
Yeah,
Ed Hearn.
Ed Hearn. You know who's he's probably on the phone with? Mark Davis.
Oh boy. Both sides, double barrel.
2-2 the count. It's like coaching third, boy. If you're afraid to get somebody thrown out, or you're afraid to be wrong, you can never make it in his business. Klesko caught looking, though he argues about it, and the inning is over. And Mr. Saberhagen has his second strikeout. 1-2-3, nothing doing at the end of 3. 3-1 Atlanta.
We go to the fourth inning with the Braves on top 3-1. Time for tonight's Aflac trivia question. Who's the only player in Major League history to steal a base in 4 different decades? Good one, Phil. I'll have the answer for you in the bottom half of the inning.
And we go to the fourth, and Damon Buford will lead it off. Well, it must be a Boston guy, huh?
Could have been a Boston Brave, Milwaukee Brave, Atlanta Brave.
Drive to left, but foul. That ball was cranked. 0-1. Buford walked his first time, was thrown out stealing, which makes him 7 out of 9 on the year. Well, it wouldn't be Jimmy Pearson. Wouldn't be Eddie Matthews. 2 balls and a strike.
Could it be the hammer?
Could be.
Phil says no.
There's a well-hit ball to left. Is it fair or foul? It is fair, and it's 3-2. Boy, they are hitting some long blasts. Buford just his 3rd home run of the year, second leadoff homer in as many innings, and it's a 3-2 ball game.
He had just hit 1 foul. He was locked in timing wise. That one looked like a high fastball, but again up. That's been the big problem for Bruce in his previous starts.
Mike Stanley chops one foul. 0-1. Is it a Red Sox player, Phil? It is a Red Sox player. Bobby Doerr.
Joe Cronin. He did not steal very many bases. 1 every 10 years, apparently.
Gene Stevens, Ted Williams.
Ooh, good call. Frank Malzone would be real upset if we didn't mention his name.
3-2 the count.
Of his 3 home runs, now Damon Buford has hit 2 of them against Atlanta.
That doesn't work too well, does it? That ball's well hit to right field. Jordan goes back, and we got a tie game. For Stanley, number 12 in his 44th homer. Or rather 44th RBI, excuse me. And this is no longer any fun. It's 3-3.
That wasn't cheap either, to the deepest part out there in right center, right into the bullpen.
Second time around the order has been a little rough here. 3-3 our score. Activity is about to begin in the Atlanta bullpen. Breaking ball for a strike. Russ Springer begins to throw for Atlanta. Two balls and a strike.
That'll make Chad Fonville feel a little better.
I would think so. Yeah.
Give him a fresh start out at second base after that rough inning in the second.
That'll make Troy O'Leary feel a little better. He cruises into second with a stand-up double. So 2 homers and a double greet Chen here in the 4th inning. And Leo Mazzoni is on his way to the mound.
Chen's last start was against Norfolk. He won that one. In fact, he had won his last 3 decisions, and one of those was over Pawtucket, the AAA team of Boston. But maybe they got a pretty good scouting report on him. In that particular start back on June 13th, he went 5 innings, gave up 7 hits and 4 earned runs, walked 3 and struck out 6. But maybe a pretty good scouting report on Bruce from their AAA club.
The conversation is over. Springer is about ready if needed. And the way this inning has started, he probably will be. Lou Merloni is the batter. Line to right. Runner tags at second. Jordan the catch. He's coming over, and he'll make it easily.
That was a funny swing by Merloni. He was just trying to get the runner over to third base and hit a rocket in the process. Looked like he even halfway stopped his swing here. Well, he finished it up. Watching it from the live swing, it looked like he had really shortened his swing up enough that kind of took a half swing at it. Not the case.
Wilton Veras, who homered his first time, is the batter. Infield in. Good breaking ball. Runner at third, 1 out, tie game. On the screen, boy, this guy takes a healthy cut. Good play by Eddie. He is really struggling.
Nowhere near the target, which was supposed to be down and in. But again, if you're trying to put a little extra on your fastball and you open up too quick, that's where the ball goes, up and away.
There it is again, 2-2.
He's given up 3 home runs, double into the corner. He's trying to avoid another mistake, and that's why he's trying to throw it a little bit too hard.
He got it. That's a big strikeout. Now the infield can go back. Play at normal depth. He's given up 4 hits tonight. No singles. That's unusual. And also he struck out 5 men in the 3 2/3 inning.
Got some help on that one.
Jason Varitek, the batter. He was out on strikes his first time.
I might be more interested in pitching to Saberhagen on deck.
Line outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Same 2 teams tomorrow at 1:15. It will not be on TBS. It will be on the Braves radio network. And Sunday we'll have it for you at 1:05 when Greg Maddux faces Jin Ho Cho.
Yeah, they're just pitching around Varitek, and hopefully they'll just put him on now.
Go ahead and do it now. Saberhagen was a strikeout victim his first time. Boy, what's going on here?
Good thing Eddie Perez got that great vertical.
Yeah.
If Eddie had had 2 of those knee saver pads on, he'd have never caught this ball. Look at him get up.
Saberhagen out on strikes his first time. He'll be bearing down more here, though. Runner in scoring position. The base hit gives him the lead. Strike. But it's really tough for these guys. They don't take hitting all year long. He had a healthy swing at that one. 0-2.
Yes, he did. He wasn't trying to go to right field with it. That's for certain. He's got a pretty special bat worked up there. He's got tape on it, crisscrossing it across the handle. Obviously belongs to someone else.
1-2.
Looks like it might be a 17 on the knob of that bat. Maybe it's an old one from when he was with the Mets.
Probably. Into center field. Andrew on the run. Diving catch. Saved a run. Inning over. How many times can he do it? 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, 2 left. Bottom of the 4th, 3-3.
Feel really good right now being close, being with Andrew right now, playing, and we're having a lot of fun. A lot of people guessing sometimes what we're saying because we speak a lot of different languages, but I think it's really excited to be close to Andrew right now, and for us to be playing together.
Visiting with Randall yesterday about the fact that the 2 of them are from Curacao, and it's rare that not only are there very many players that have come from Curacao to play in the big leagues, but here are 2 that are playing together and hitting back to back. A lot of fun for both of them.
And Andrew leads off the bottom of the 4th. It's a 3-3 ball game. Strike. Saberhagen struggled a little bit in the first, was hit hard. His defense let him down in the second. And now he's settling down. Got him 1-2-3 in the 3rd. Andrews singled to left his first time and pops this one up. Troy O'Leary is there. 1 out.
Speaking of Troy O'Leary, time for the answer to the Aflac trivia question. Who's the only player in Major League history to steal a base in 4 different decades? Troy O. Ted Williams.
I was all over that.
You were.
Eventually.
You were all over it. 1939, he stole 2 bases. Between 40 and 49, he stole 14. 50 to 59, he stole 7. He stole 1 in 1960.
Nice going. Pitch to Simon, corked into center. Back goes Buford. He's got room. Shy of the track. 2 down.
Ricky Henderson could join that stolen base club if he plays next year and steals a base.
But he does both. Here's Eddie Perez. 7 in a row set down by Mr. Saberhagen.
Keep in mind that Saberhagen came into this game with a 2.09 ERA when he has been able to take the mound and has been healthy. He's been tough.
He's got a better earned run average, or did coming into the game, than Pedro Martinez. 1 ball, no strikes. It's even now at 1-1. Oh, what a gorgeous night. Not a cloud in the sky. Huge crowd on hand. 2-1. Florida hammering Tampa Bay 7-2. Mets 2-1 over the Yanks there in the 4th. Pittsburgh and Minnesota 1-1 in the 3rd. Perez steps out. Foul back.
Saberhagen was one of those guys, Skip, that when he got to big league camp as a teenager, you knew he was going to be successful, just the way he carried himself, the way he handled himself around older players, and was never one of those players who tried to shy away from his failings. When he had a bad game, he admitted he had a bad game, just didn't have it that particular day. Never made excuses and tried to do better the next day. Won a Cy Young Award in '85. I believe he was the youngest in history at that time, 21 years old.
Their attack has no play.
Nice catch.
We were talking during the break an inning or so ago about whether or about you being released during the first spring training that he came to Kansas City. How does that feel? I mean, it happens to a lot of guys. Happened to Don, as a matter of fact, and he's in the Hall of Fame. Did you know it was coming?
Somewhat, only because I was playing in a lot of B games. You know, the writing was on the wall. I wasn't going with the big league club on many A game trips, and I was playing well in the B games, but I realized that didn't matter a whole lot, because obviously Dick Hauser wasn't hearing a whole lot about what was going on in those games.
Stanley over near the dugout, reaches in, can't get it.
But it's a crushing feeling, because that was the first time in my life that anyone had ever told me I wasn't good enough to be on their team, and that really got me.
Was John kind when he pulled the trigger on you?
Yeah, in fact, he and Dick both called me in at the same time and said they would do anything they could to help me to call some other organizations and put in a good word, that sort of thing.
The payoff. Foul back again.
In fact, beyond that, they let me stick around about a week, maybe not a week, maybe 5 days, and use the Kansas City facilities, you know, to hit off the pitching machines and things, work out.
Stay ready in case somebody else.
Yeah. While I was trying to find a job.
Another pop foul. Again out of play. Kevin Tampany has been hit by a comebacker on the right hand.
That's the same hand he broke, wasn't it? The finger that he had surgery on.
He had to come out of the game. He already has a broken bone in his left hand. Remember that? He normally just stands there when he hits. The
Cubs are fading. They've already faded into last place in the Central Division, 8 games back. Good battle here with Eddie.
Did anybody else offer you a minor league job, or did you just?
Oh yeah, I played that year in the Angels organization. I had an opportunity to go to either the Padres organization or the Angels, and went to California. But by that time I'd had enough of minor league baseball, and that was enough.
In a way, I know how you feel, because I'm once divorced, and that was the first time I felt like I had failed at anything. Well, enough philosophy. The inning is over. 8 in a row set down by Saberhagen. We go to the 5th. 3-3. We go to the 5th inning here.
Happy birthday.
Good for you. Fonville has walked and grounded out.
I was talking to Jimmy Williams before the game. I remember when we were in Boston, the Red Sox were working out his oldest son, Brady Williams. They had drafted him, I think, fairly late in the draft in June. Well, Brady has signed, and he's playing in Fort Myers on their rookie league team and doing pretty well. In fact, Jimmy said he hit a home run last night. We just checked out his numbers. Brady's doing quite nicely, thank you. He's hitting .256, 4 home runs, 10 RBIs. So good luck to Brady Williams as he starts out on his baseball career.
I'll tell you this, whoever the manager is down there isn't going to have to teach him how to play this game.
No.
Three 3-0 to count to Fonville. This is not the guy you want to walk.
And not a good start after a rough 4th inning.
Mr. Chen may be about to leave the dance here if he doesn't get an out in a hurry. In fact, he's not going to have another chance. Bobby Cox is on his way to the mound. And Bruce got off to a good start in this game, but faded badly in the middle innings. So manager Bobby Cox, even without a phone, makes the Bell South call to the bullpen. Springer on to pitch for Atlanta. You'll see his numbers here, and you'll see the score in the ball game. Springer will face Darren Lewis with a runner at first and a fastball, and nobody out.
Bullpen should be pretty rested. Had a complete game last night out of Kevin Millwood. The night before, Maddox was cruising along till he got hit in the foot with that hard hit ball, but everybody should be ready to go. Tough break for Chen in that he got off to such a good start tonight, and bragging on him about using his fastball, but after he gave up that home run to Wilton Veras, it seemed like he suddenly started trying to pick around a little bit again and got in trouble.
He has strange line scores when he pitches in the big league. Like tonight, 4+ innings, 4 hits, 4 walks, 3 homers, yet 5 strikeouts in 3+ innings, or excuse me, 4+ innings. So his stuff is obviously good because of the strikeouts, but a lot of hittable pitches and some control problems thrown in. Fonville, the one man really you don't want to walk on this team, has walked twice.
I think Don could probably speak to this better in the bottom half of the inning, but it seems to me that you can hang most of it on the fact that he gets hurt when he pitches above the belt. And there are a lot of pitchers that can get away with that. Bruce Chen can't. Or at least has it to this point.
0-1 the count. was sweet at the outset. Braves led 3-0. There goes Fonville. No shot. That's his first stolen base up here. He had 4 down at Pawtucket.
Great jump. Driving down and through just like a starter coming out of the blocks in a race. A sprinter, I should have said. But keep in mind, too, Saberhagen, Bobby knows, too, that he can't let this game get out of hand with Bret out there the way he's been pitching. That's a mark. I think Lou Merlone was one of those guys a minute ago when he got the runner over to third base. I think that's a mark of a Jimmy Williams team. Guys are up there making obvious attempts to do the right thing, to move runners over, even though it was a bad pitch. Darren Lewis was trying very hard to hit the ball to the right side.
And he did it again, unsuccessfully, but again, there was the effort.
Jimmy is such a stickler for fundamentals, and he was a guy when he was with Atlanta that, you know, that's not the manager's duty every day to point out something to a player. If you know, hey, you forgot to do this, you forgot to do that. Jimmy was the guy that did that. You know, he'd say, hey, we got to work on this and do a little better job of doing such and such.
He's got one of those piercing voices, too. If he gets on you, you know. 1-2 the count.
I wasn't here when Jeff Blauser first broke into the big leagues, but I understand he had some throwing problems when he first came up. He's still trying to go that way.
Even with 2 strikes, yes.
But he always bragged on Jimmy Williams and how it was to Jimmy's credit that Jeff had overcome some of his throwing difficulties just through hard work and concentration on some basic fundamentals.
Jeff, by the way, is having a pretty good year for the Cubs. Much better than last year, though he's now just a part-time player. Another fly ball to right, foul.
Been laid up, too. He's had still the residual pain from his arm surgery, but a bad back, too.
One and 2 the count. Now fly ball down the left field line. Klesko, a long run. He's lost it, and it doesn't matter. It drops in the seats anyway. It looked like he lost that ball. He was like waving for help, but there was nobody there to help him.
What time of night was it last night when Eddie dropped that double in? It was the bottom of the 5th inning.
So roughly the same time.
Roughly the same time when the outfielders had a problem seeing it out in right center field between Kotsay and Preston Wilson.
It's that old Twilight thing, Joe.
Thank you, buddy.
2-2 the count. Pete and Don will join you after this half inning, and we will wend our way to Braves Radio. He's run it full, 3-2.
Darn good at bat here for Darren Lewis.
Every time I say we're going to move to either Braves TV or Braves Radio, I think of the poor lady that called the office years ago. That's well hit into the alley. Can he do it again? Not this time. Run is in. Lewis can fly. He's on his way to third, and he's there standing with a triple. Well, you shut the book on Chen. 4 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, excuse me. 4 walks, 5 strikeouts, 3 homers.
High fastball, and he earned that triple. He was trying like crazy to get the runner over that entire at bat, and finally found a hole. And I think we've become so spoiled with Andrew, we just expect him to catch everything.
He came close. Damon Buford. Runner tags. Andrew's going to try to throw him out, but he had no chance. It's 5-3. It was Ernie one night who said, we're leaving for Braves TV, and this woman called the office. And Susie Donaldson was then the secretary in the broadcast office. And this lady called up and said, I don't understand why you can't keep the game on radio for the whole 9 innings. And Susie said, excuse me? She said, well, Ernie keeps saying we're going to go now. She said, I'm listening to the game on the radio. And she said, then Ernie says we're going now to Braves TV. So I turned off my radio and turned on the TV. And she was dead serious. Susie had to explain to her, no, somebody else is coming over here. The pitch. Breaking ball outside. It's 1-1. Mike Stanley has had it feast or famine, a strikeout and a homer. 1-2 the count. 5-3 Boston. Springer doesn't know where it is. Boy, I hope he's all right, and I don't think he is. The runner is out at first. Springer gets up, but I don't know.
That wasn't a good sign.
He's had that back problem, you know.
Trying to walk it off. I couldn't tell where it got him.
He's pointing at his knee.
Came all the way back to Eddie Perez, who made a terrific play to get the out. Yeah, he's trying to keep that knee off the ground too.
He's hurt. And he is not going to be able to continue. And Springer gets a good hand as he comes out here.
We'll take a break and be back right after this.
Mike Remlinger is the new Atlanta pitcher, and he will have as long as he likes to heat up here. We'll get you word on Russ Springer as soon as it becomes available. This would be a good time to tell the folks about dinner and a movie. Paul and Annabelle will be cooking up a storm, though they weren't kind enough to send it out to us tonight. Lord forgive me. Richard Pryor stars in critical condition on Dinner and a Movie. Paul and Annabelle will be preparing code blueberry tarts.
Oh, what a night for them not to send anything over.
Can you say tarts on TV?
Yes, you can in that context.
That comes up after the game on the Superstation.
Remember the old candy sweet tarts?
No.
Little fizzy, sour things you'd put in your mouth?
Before my time.
Maybe after your time, actually.
Remlinger getting ready in a hurry here. It's 5-3 with 2 out, nobody on. The line on Russ Springer, 2/3 of an inning, a hit and a run. In case you joined us late, there has been a significant trade in baseball tonight. Matt Mante, the fine young relief pitcher from Florida, goes to the Arizona Diamondbacks, who give up a lot of talent. Vladimir Nunez, a pitcher who's on the big league club. Brad Penny, who I believe was pitching at Double-A, but is a blue chip prospect. They're extremely high on, plus a player to be named later. So Arizona got what they need to contend, and Florida continues to rebuild with young pitching. Was the Nunez kid from Cuba?
I believe so, yes.
Well, you know, he'll be excited with the great Cuban community down in Miami.
He's that guy, too, that throws a little bit sidearm, too. Can be really nasty on right-handed hitters. Tonight you might have seen a few in the stands, but it was Braves car flag night, presented by AutoZone to the first 45,000 folks. Some of them have chosen to hang them on the bills of their cap.
Yes, they have. For reasons known only to them. Troy O'Leary has struck out and he has doubled, and Remlinger is quickly ready to go to work. Doesn't take him long. 1 ball, no strikes.
I didn't want to say anything, Skip, but really I'm glad that it was auto flag night tonight, because that one you've had on the window of your car for the last year is getting a little threadbare. Now you'll have a fresh one.
2 balls, no strikes. Isn't it hard to see the game with that flag hanging in front of your face?
Not if you shake your head back and forth.
2 balls and a strike. If I throw a stick, will you leave? 2 balls and a strike. Fly ball, well hit center field. Andrew Jones is out of room. Against the wall. He caught it. Oh my goodness. What a play.
Look at this crowd on its feet for him. Unbelievable.
That's amazing.
Unbelievable timing. You've always got to know where you are, and he's always got that 6th sense.
Oh, that is spectacular.
And grabbed his hat on the way back.
Yeah. They're still applauding here. Pete and Joe don't join you right after this.
Come to you.
Well, Don Sutton, I don't know what's going to happen the rest of this game, how it's going to end, but everybody at the ballpark tonight is going to walk away from here talking about this play. What a catch.
I thought it was over the fence. I think everybody here thought it was over the fence. I guess the only guy who was convinced that it wasn't going to go was Andrew Jones. What a play. Measuring the wall, then going up against the wall with his foot to cushion himself, at the same time keeping his eye on the ball. What a great play.
It'll be Mike Remlinger leading off here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Braves a little catching up to do now to the Boston Red Sox. Bret Saberhagen has really settled down.
It's been an unusual night for Bruce Chen. He was like 2 different pitchers. Started off like it was going to be one of the best nights of his career, but then ran into a little bit of a struggle. Top of the 4th inning, the one that kind of did him in.
Remlinger batting for himself here. Bobby Cox needs some innings out of him now tonight. I know he was hoping that Springer would last a little longer than 2/3 of an inning, but that line shot off his leg knocked him out of there. And that's all for Remlinger. He's out of there on strike. Strikeout number 4 for Saberhagen.
We don't have any word from the Braves locker room yet, but as soon as we get it, we'll pass it on to you.
And now back to the top of the order, and Walt Weiss, who is flying to right and hit into a 4-6 force play. He's now 0 for his last 24. And the leadoff spot in the order now 0 for its last 33. 1 ball, no strikes.
Which makes the fact that the Braves keep winning all the more amazing. Because usually you like that igniter to be the guy at the front end of the lineup. But Bobby Cox hadn't had that luxury for a few days.
1 ball, 1 strike. And remember, Weiss was moved from 8th in the order to 1st in the order only because Otis Nixon was struggling so much in the leadoff spot. So the leadoff spot in the batting order has not been a very productive one this year. 2-1. But you know, with the exception possibly of a team like Cleveland and maybe Colorado with all the hitting they do, and Milwaukee this year. Milwaukee's got a very good offensive club top to bottom. There are a lot of teams, a lot of good teams that have a little hole somewhere in their batting order. A little pop up off the fists, handled by Veras. 2 gone.
Speaking of that Milwaukee ball club, I was reading today that they're on a pace to have a better year, and they're scoring more runs than Harvey's Wallbangers, my old teammates there in '82.
It may have surprised some of you listening or watching that we're even talking about a team like Milwaukee, but they kind of caught everybody by surprise. They're only 1 point off the lead right now in the batting average race in the National League. Colorado's hitting .287, Milwaukee .286. They are right up there with the top hitting teams in baseball, ahead of Arizona. Here's Bret Boone.
Incidentally, speaking of Arizona, they pulled the trigger on a deal for a closer. What do you think of that?
I think it's a good deal for both clubs.
So do I.
Matt Manti should be able to help the Arizona club immediately, and Vladimir Nunez, a good-looking youngster. In fact, they were kind of grooming him in Arizona to be an eventual closer, and he might inherit that role with the young Florida Marlins team. And Brad Penny is one of those kids you keep reading about being one of the top 5 pitching prospects in the nation at the minor league level.
But I think it's a deal that is good for Arizona, and you have to make, because right now they have a chance to win that division.
Good breaking ball. That's all for Boone. A 1-2-3 inning for Saberhagen. 5 strikeouts in the night now, and it's still 5-3 Boston.
Top of the 6th, time for our Budweiser game summary. In a nutshell, Bruce Chen did not have a good night. Bret Saberhagen has had one, and solo homers the order of the evening. It's 5-3 as we head to the 6th on our Budweiser game summary.
Lou Merlone 0 for 2. He's grounded out to short, fly to right. Takes a Remlinger breaking ball low. 1 ball, no strikes. He is in at shortstop for Garcia Parra, who's out with a groin injury. 3/4 of the infield missing for the Red Sox. In the air to center field. Much more routine play for Andrew. 1 away. And the batter will be third baseman Wilton Veras, who is in for the injured John Valentin, out after suffering a concussion after being beamed. Veras tonight has one of those solo homers. Back in the 3rd inning, he's also struck out.
Seems to be one of those a year for the Red Sox, doesn't it? Last year, remember Mark Lemke, a concussion.
Ball, no strikes. Here's the way the home run looked. He didn't miss that one.
Yeah, got some extension, got a belt high fastball right out away from him.
Two 2-0 the count on Veras. That's the one thing that Bruce Chen is going to have to be careful of, it would seem. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's fouled away 2-1. If you're a pitcher that pitches down in the strike zone a lot, if you miss below the area that you're trying to hit, it's a ball. It's out of the strike zone. If you're pitching up in the strike zone like he likes to do, and you miss a little bit below the target, it's right down the middle.
It's in the happy zone. Yeah, you're better off missing above your target if you're going to pitch up. If you miss above your target, that's shoulder high, letter high, it's hard to drive that. If you miss below it, that's belt high, and those babies go.
Here's the 3-1. Shallow right field. Short. Puts it away. 2 gone.
All right, here's what you're talking about, Pete. Mike Remlinger was trying to pitch down, but he missed above the belt. See, if he missed about 2 or 3 inches lower, that's a pitch that could have been driven. But he missed high enough up that the bat drops, pops it up in the air. It's hard to drive that. That's exactly what you were talking about.
Now Jason Varitek has struck out and walked. 0-1 the count. Varitek now .252 for the year.
You always read about pitchers wanting to learn another pitch or teaching a pitcher another pitch. What has made Mike Remlinger better this year is taking away a pitch. In this role, he has become a 2-pitch pitcher, a fastball changeup pitcher, a good live fastball, and that's the velocity you see him normally get, 92, 93. But his changeup has become almost unhittable, and he's just given up the true breaking ball. You may see it occasionally, but all 1s and 4s.
Still a ball and 2 strikes on Varitek. Two men out, base is empty. count remains 1-2.
Strike out an inning, and so many of them have come on his changeup, and almost all have come because he has lived on the outside corner a little further away.
Another fly ball, shallow center. And Andrew there for that one. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for Remlinger on 3 fly balls. And we're going to the bottom half of the 6th. Red Sox still lead it 5-3.
Pete, here's what you were talking about. If you're going to miss up around the letters or a little higher, chin on the home run to Veras, belt high. On the home run to Stanley, belt high. On the pop fly to right, letter high. So it's a matter of maybe, what, 4 to 6 inches? But it's just enough that Remlinger got it up enough where he couldn't drive it. He hit it into the air.
Well, right now, the Braves offense trying to get Bret Saberhagen solved. He hasn't given him much of anything. 1-2-3 in the 5th, 1-2-3 in the 4th, 1-2-3 in the 3rd. Got the last 2 outs in the 2nd. 11 straight retired. Upstairs to Chipper, ball 1. Chipper a home run in the 1st. Grounded out to short in the 3rd. 21 homers, 55 RBIs now for Chipper Jones. There's always a player when you're heading into the All-Star break that wishes those 3 days off work right around the corner. It's always a guy like this who's all of a sudden got hot.
Yeah.
Chipper not real happy with that last call. 2-1 the count.
But he was very diplomatic in his response to it. You know, everybody, I would hope everybody would like to go to the All-Star game.
Into right field. Chipper's 2 out of 3.
And he's just not missing. That's the pitch that I believe 2 weeks ago the hands were lagging through. That would have been a little pop to second, a little pop to short. Now watch the barrel of the bat. His hands are starting, but the barrel of the bat, that ball there had a chance to get in on him. The hands came close. He's rolling the head of the bat over, hitting the ball out in front of the plate instead of letting the ball get on him.
Hit number 5 of the night off of Saberhagen. As you look at Chipper's
July
July numbers,
good to me.
Here's Brian Jordan, a single in 2 at-bats. He now has a 12-game hitting streak. On Jordan, who right now is at .299 for the year. Saberhagen picked Jordan off first in the 1st inning.
And he started it out with that little move where he just steps off but doesn't throw over. Then he might do that again. Then he steps off and then throws over. It's almost like a delayed pickoff.
0-2 now in Jordan.
We see delayed steals where a guy will wait and then go and catch everybody's surprise, but that's a pitcher's version of it, a delayed pickoff.
Hey, one thing the uncertainty on Chipper Jones' part has done is cut down his lead by about a step. He's not getting very far off the bag at first.
That's about as short a lead as we see him take against the right-hander.
Look out. We've seen Brian get plunked a few times this year. You know how he locks that front leg in. And anything up and in on him, sometimes he has a little trouble getting out of the way of.
When he gets hit, though, it's usually from the belt to the braves on his chest, on the arm, because once he locks in, he can't move that part of the body but up around the head, he's able to lean back and get out of the way of it.
Been hit by a pitch 6 times this year. And again, Saberhagen with that little step off as Chipper leaning back toward first.
A little cat and mouse game. I wonder if these guys know each other, because a little smile by Chipper as he tried to pick him up.
This will be out of play. Ball and 2 strikes still on Brian Jordan. Third, he tried to wait on it. They're going to get the out. No, dropped by Fonville, but he dropped it, taken out of his glove. Well, he has had a horrible night defensively at second base. He has messed up at least 3 potential double plays. We're going to get an argument on this one. Ed Rapuano will be approached by Bobby Cox, who didn't think that Fonville was in the process of taking the ball out of his glove when he dropped it. He thought he dropped the throw from third.
Cox got his say-so in. He's got to get that reject button out of his glove. It goes into the glove, and then he does reach for it and drop it. From that angle, it looked like he reached for it to drop it. A little bit better angle here. But he does have possession of it and then flings it out.
He committed an error on a ground ball in the second inning. Then a hitter later, there was a ground ball to third, tried to turn the double play, and he threw it past the first baseman. They did get 1 out at second base. And that could very well have been a double play with a clean turn. So Fonville is having a time of it down there at second base tonight. There's a call strike to Klesko in the inside corner.
With all the plays that haven't been made, Bret Saberhagen could very well be pitching in the 8th inning right now.
Well, he got at least 7 outs, 7 potential outs in the second inning alone. Could have had 2 double plays in that inning. And there was a sacrifice bunt that was also booted.
Remember, he got Jordan on that little move before.
There are only 2 errors charged out there, but there have been at least 4 misplays by the Red Sox tonight. And they're still leading 5-3. Strike in the outside corner, 0-2 now on Klesko. Up and away, 1 ball, 2 strikes. You don't see much reaching around by Jason Varitek with Saberhagen out there. He has always been one of the best control pitchers in the game. Where that target is, he's going to be right there. Here's the 1-2. And that just missed. Oh, he said he went around. Frank Pulley rings up Ryan Klesko. That'll be strikeout number 6 for Bret Saberhagen.
And you're going to get a little bit of an argument, but not very much. Take a look. You can umpire.
Don't know.
Normally I say that can go either way, but that's one that I think that Bret Saberhagen got the benefit of.
Here's Andrew Jones. He has singled and flied to left. Runner at first with 2 outs now, and there's a little throw over to first. Brian Jordan back safely.
That's just a social call. Just wants to let him know that he is still keeping an eye on him.
After what happened in the first inning, look at how short Jordan's lead is. Whoa, somebody missed a sign. That'll be all the way to the backstop. Jason Varitek thought there was going to be a pitch out delivered by Saberhagen, and he threw it over the plate but a little high.
And that's one of the things that Jimmy Williams has. He is such a fundamental. I didn't see the sign. Take a look at this. This is an oddity. Now, let me tell you, the unhappiest guy right here is the umpire. There goes the catcher. Here comes the pitch. No, let me rephrase that. The luckiest guy in the ballpark is the umpire.
He looked like a croquet wicket.
I won't say any more, but he is a lucky man. That's strange. Okay, what do you call that? Wild pitch.
Well, a runner at second now with 2 outs.
Hey, let me tell you what else is missed, too. Saberhagen wants to know why that wasn't a strike.
Yeah.
We might take another look at that, and he might have a valid argument.
Upstairs with the next one to Andrew.
What's this? Well, they're talking about discussing it. What happened there, but he can't understand why that wasn't a strike.
That, Bret, was because when that pitch was coming in, all Charlie Williams could see was his life flashing before his eyes.
It's funny because nothing bad happened.
True.
It could have been very unfunny.
And that'll be ball 4 to Andrew Jones. That might have rattled Bret Saberhagen just a little. He's a normally
I think you're right. That's
pretty unshakable guy.
Yeah, for him to walk a guy is unusual. Remember back in '94, the odd year that he had 14 wins and only 13 walks. Not too often do you see a guy get more wins than he does walks.
Joe Kerrigan out to have a quick word with Veritek and Saberhagen, and probably to find out what exactly happened on that pitch out. Who was at fault there? But it had to be Saberhagen missing the sign.
Do you know why this is maybe a good move? Because as long as there's some uncertainty as to what happened in anything, you can't move beyond it. Now all of a sudden Kerrigan comes out, he talks to both of them, and now, okay, it's over, we need an out.
2 men out, runners first and second now for Randall Simon, who reached on an error by Fonville back in the second inning. He did pick up an RBI then, and he flied to center in the 4th inning. 2 men out. And a pair of runners aboard. Randall now 0 for his last 13. He's due. Another one missing high.
Yeah, and Saberhagen doesn't miss up very often. If he misses horizontally more than vertically.
Broken bat. Fonville charging on to first in time. The bat flew into the seats beyond the Atlanta Braves dugout. Somebody might have gotten hit over there. Hope not. But at any rate, Saberhagen is out of the inning. 2 runners left on for Atlanta. We're going to the 7th. Still 5-3. Going to the 7th inning, still 5-3 Red Sox. We're happy to report that the youngster that was struck by that bat that broke appears to be okay. A little glancing blow off the side of the head, but he's all right. Those are always scary incidents, though.
Oh, man.
Mike Remlinger set to go to work on Bret Saberhagen here in the 7th. Saberhagen 0 for 2. He has struck out and fly to center.
Remlinger logging some innings tonight for Bobby Cox.
I think when spring training began, this was sort of the role that Remlinger was more or less pictured as filling this year. Kind of a long man, spot starter if necessary. But he's done such a good job working that 7th or 8th inning, depending on who's coming up in the batting order, that he's become kind of that late inning guy. Not the closer, but the left-handed setup man. 2-1 now.
And it looks like it's quiet in the bullpen, so he may be there for all of this one and maybe part of the 8th.
Yeah, remember Bobby let him hit back in the 5th inning. He's due up 2nd in the bottom half of the 7th, so He'll try to get through this inning at least. Here's the 2-2. Full count now, 3-2 on Saberhagen. Here's the payoff pitch. Started to go. Eddie Perez tried to get the call, did not. Saberhagen aboard, nobody out.
That's a good at bat by Saberhagen, but that's a guy you really don't want to lose for two reasons. One, the pitcher is supposed to be an automatic out, especially an American League pitcher. But number two, it's a lot of pitches that he had to throw to him. Longest outing this year for Remlinger was 3 innings. Twice he's gone, 3 times he's gone 2 full.
Chad Fonville has walked twice and grounded out to short. He has stolen a base, scored a run. Showing bunt, taking outside, ball 1. There's the youngster that got struck by the bat. He's fine. And then a little bumped him off when he wakes up. Gets the bunt down the first base side. They're going to let it roll. It rolls foul.
Good play by Randall Simon. It would have been very easy to grab that quickly and take the sure out. This is what you see American League teams do when they get into National League ballparks. More and more, that is, play the National League style. There are not many sacrifice bunts over in the American League because you have the designated hitter.
Well, coming into this game, you can get a good example of it. We're deep enough into the season now where those numbers have tallied up. Coming into this game, the Braves hitters had 34 sacrifice bunts. Red Sox hitters had 13. Almost 3 times as many sacrifices for the National League team. And that's going to be a pretty constant number throughout the interleague matchups.
And I think the technique shows it too, doesn't it? You can tell for Fonville, but Fonville played on a Dodger lineup where he was expected to do this some, but
he's just not having a good night. He hasn't had a good night defensively. Can't get a bunt down here. He has walked a couple times, but he's had better games than this. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Right back to Remlinger's got a chance for 2 here. Weiss on to first, safe at first.
Two things cost the Braves a double play. The throw a little bit behind Walt Weiss. He had to take a half a step to slow down. And the second thing is Fonville quick out of the right-handed batter's box. Saberhagen playing like he was a National League everyday player. He hustled down there and got close. Very aggressive.
So a runner at first with 1 out. And Darren Lewis, who has grounded out the first fly to right, and tripled. One ball, no strikes. You saw Pedro Martinez in that dugout right alongside Bret Saberhagen. It was announced today a little prematurely by Joe Torre. He'll be the starter for the American League in the All-Star game, and why not? What a year he is having. 15 wins already.
If I were the Yankee manager, I'd do that for 2 reasons.
Well, you'd be better in Fenway Park.
Yeah, well, 3 reasons then. 1, because it's Fenway Park. 2, because it's earned it. And 3, it's 1 less start he'll be able to make. Or you'll back him up a couple of days. And I know Joe Torre wouldn't think of that. He would never do that.
I'll tell you the number that boggles my mind. And we've had numbers like this to deal with here in Atlanta with Greg Maddux the last few years, where he's been first in a lot of categories and has had an ERA a full run better, a run and a half better than the league. Pedro Martinez ERA right now is 2.10. The American League ERA right now is 4.95. That's almost 3 runs below the American League ERA is where Pedro Martinez is with that 2.10 earned run average.
But look, his control is lousy. He's only second in that.
And you know, to go along with those 184 strikeouts, He's walked 24 men. Two and one the count on Darren Lewis. Takes a strike, 2-2. Sellout crowd tonight, 49,636 on hand. And will be sold out again tomorrow. And probably on Sunday. Just a few seats left for Sunday's game.
It's the largest crowd we've had here since first day of August last year. I believe the Cardinals were in town.
Here's the 2-2. Now play to the right, still 2-2. Schedule's a lot different than it used to be with the interleague play and the fact that you see some clubs only once in your own ballpark during the course of the year, and sometimes you're all done with them in May. So if you're going out to see a game or two during the course of any given season, if you're a fan that maybe lives 100 miles away from Atlanta, let's say, and you can only make it in for 1 or 2 games, and you want to see a certain team play against the Braves, you don't have many alternates to choose from. You've got one series usually. That's it. And this is it if you're a Red Sox fan.
And apparently there are quite a few in the Southeast.
Runner will probably be going. Nope, he's going back. Good move by Remlinger. He had the runner Fonville breaking back toward the bag at first, thinking he was coming over there. And then he gets the double bonus and striking out Darren Lewis. 2 gone.
Give a good high leg kick, gave him the look, and went with a changeup. That's the pitch has really made pitching fun for Remlinger this year.
2 gone. Here's Damon Buford. A walk, a home run, and the sac flies, driven in 2 runs. Braves have a lot of trouble getting him out. He was hitting .381 against Braves pitching in his career coming into this game, and he's 1 for 1 with a homer tonight. Over 400 now. He's 9 for 22 lifetime against the Braves. Five runs, 5 hits for the Red Sox, 3 runs, 5 hits for the Braves. They're in the 7th inning. Now to play 1-1.
Damon Buford, the son of one of the nicest guys and one of the best liked players to ever play in the American League. Don Buford, good outfielder, tough little out. Check the swing. They're going to appeal that one down to first. Nope. No call there either. 2-1 the count. Here's the 2-1 on the way. Little roller foul off of the left, 2-2. Tom Glavine against Mark Portugal tomorrow afternoon, then Greg Maddux against Jin-Ho Cho on Sunday afternoon, day before the break. And after the break, the Braves will be heading back to New York, Yankee Stadium. Start of an 11-day road trip. 11 days, 12 games. That's right. Got the double dip in Philadelphia on Friday, a makeup game.
Here's the 2-2. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. So we've got coming up right there.
We'll be with you on Sunday here on TBS, and we invite you to enjoy 3 days away from regularly scheduled baseball. Take in the All-Star game though on watch that, because it's going to be an event at the opening of it that I wish we could all see. And then the first 2 games in Yankee Stadium we'll have with you here on TBS.
2-2. And it's full now. 3-2 on Buford.
Tell you
Mike Stanley on deck.
I'll tell you why that you and I were talking about this a little bit earlier. Quite an event they're having up in up in Boston for the opening of the All-Star game. Did you say 50?
They've invited back 50 of the top stars of the century, this being the last game of the 1900s. Ground ball third. Nice play, Chipper Jones. Long throw across to first. And he got him, and we'll tell you more about some of the All-Star festivities coming up in Boston as we head to the 7th inning stretch. It's still 5-3 Red Sox.
Seventh inning stretch time, middle of the 7th inning, 5-3 the score. The Red Sox lead it. Chance for us to remind you that there are 11 different polo shirts in the Braves Clubhouse Collection catalog. We're sure there's a style there just for you. You can order your Braves catalog today by calling 1-800-433-BRAVES or stop by the Braves Clubhouse stores at CNN Center in downtown Atlanta, or the very nice one that's up at North Point Mall in Alpharetta. Braves Clubhouse store. There is something fun from the Braves there for you.
Saberhagen still out there, giving up only 1 hit since the 2nd inning, leading at 5-3. And Eddie Perez leads off here in the 7th. Ozzie Guillen was moved out on deck to bat for Remlinger. Perez is hit into a force play and struck out. Drove in a run when he hit into that force play in the 2nd. Adam Bailey.
This is a time where they'll probably start really keeping an eye on Saberhagen. His last 2 outings, winners, he's gone 7 innings in each of those, but usually 6th or 7th. Joe Kerrigan keeps a watchful eye.
This will be out of play, and the count even. 1 ball, 1 strike.
What would make them feel better, and what he's hoping for, is a 7, 8, 9 pitch inning.
Going for career win number 162. 35 years old. Here's the 1-1. Leg out. And almost got Glenn Hubbard over at first. The Red Sox bullpen is up. Right-hander Derek Lowe has begun to loosen. Bullpen coach John Cumberland looking on. In the air to right, pretty well hit. Lewis on the run and can't get it over his head. Eddie Perez on his way to second. And a leadoff opposite field double for Eddie Perez to start the bottom half of the 7th inning. They had him played very shallow in right field.
And he took a little bit of an odd angle, did Lewis, at this. Pretty good pitch. Out away from Eddie Perez, going that way. Watch the angle. Now he'll turn right. He was underneath that ball the whole way, so that must have had backspin on it that gave it carry, and it really fooled Darren Lewis, normally a very good outfielder.
Eddie Perez down at second. Ozzie Guillen on the pinch hit. He's 0 for his last 15, so he's due. Hitting .230 on the year. No homers, 12 RBIs. Pinch hitting from Remlinger and taking outside, ball 1. Remlinger did a good job again.
Nice job.
2 1/3 scoreless innings. On the ground, this will get the man to third. Boy, almost another Boston error there. If you were watching first baseman Mike Stanley closely, he was taking a peek at the runner moving over from second to third and almost took his eye off that ball. Watch him look up here just before the ball gets to him.
Almost picked a bad time to look up. See the head come up? You could see the cap bill come up just before he reached down.
Runner over at third now with 1 gone. And Walt Weiss will be the batter. And boys, talk about a guy that's due. Weiss fly to right. Hit into a 4-6 force play. Popped to third. 0 for his last 25. Just that 1 hit since his return from the disabled list. And that came in his first game back.
I know you were talking over on radio about how the leadoff hitter spot, the leadoff spot in the Braves batting order has had a struggle almost all year.
0 for their last 34 now. That almost hit Weiss. And just batting .223 for the year. That's combining Otis Nixon, who's hit there, and Ozzie Guillen and Walt Weiss. So that's a spot in the order the Braves were hoping for a lot more offense from. Still a lot of season to go. They can improve on that. Here's the 1-0. Fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Talking with Bobby the other day, and that's one of the things he was really pleased with, that there have been so many things that could have really sent this team in the wrong direction that have happened so far this year, beginning with Andres Galarraga and Mark Wohlers and Kerry Leitenberg, and then Ryan Klesko got hurt early in the year, and John Smoltz has been on the disabled list twice, and Walt Weiss has been out with an injury, and Javi Lopez is down. Little pop-up that's going to be out of play. The plan to use Otis Nixon as the leadoff hitter didn't work out. Otis now playing off the bench because his bat wasn't coming around. So many little things that have gone wrong with this club this year, and yet they're still in first place, still in a comfortable margin. 5 games up on the Mets coming into tonight.
Scratching and clawing and dial a different hero.
It hasn't always been pretty.
No. It's some ugly wins.
1-2 the count on Weiss. That might drop, and does, into right field for a base hit. Eddie Perez will score, and that makes it 5-4. That snaps an 0 for 25 slump for Walt Weiss and an 0 for 34 slump for the leadoff spot in the batting order. And here comes Jimmy Williams, and that's it for Saberhagen.
Tried to come in on him. Walt Weiss, when they've been getting him out, they've gotten him out away and with off-speed stuff. Every now and then he looks inside, gets one, and he can handle almost anybody's fastball when he's looking for it.
So Saberhagen will leave after working 6 1/3 innings. He's given up 7 hits. He's given up 4 runs. 3 of them earned. Runner at first belongs to him. He struck out 6. He walked 1. And it's Derek Lowe coming on to replace him. Well, Bret Saberhagen through for the night. Now he has to rely on his bullpen to hold off the Braves if he wants to pick up the victory. And Derek Lowe is the new pitcher. He's had a good year. He's pitching in his 42nd game. He's 0-2, but with a good ERA of 3.07. He's also picked up 4 saves. And that opposing batting average of only .220. One of the lower numbers on this Red Sox staff. Lowe is a guy that it seems like any time trade talks begin with any team and the Boston Red Sox, this is a name that always comes up that other teams are interested in.
Top of the shopping list. Big kid with good leverage.
Out of Dearborn, Michigan. He came over to the Red Sox along with Jason Varitek in a Heathcliff Slocum trade back in 1997. Think the Red Sox would make that trade again?
And throw in something.
Brett Boone yanks it foul, 0-1. Boone has struck out twice, grounded out to short. Inside corner, 0-2.
It's amazing that the difference. There are a lot of differences in the 2 leagues, but if you look at Bret Saberhagen's performance tonight in the National League, it's not really that good of a performance. But if you look at it in the American League, that's a great performance. Tonight, though, what he did do is keep his club ahead and give him a chance to win.
Nice play by Barris to Merlone to get the force at second. And that'll bring up the Braves' hottest hitter, Chipper Jones. A home run, a ground out to short, and a single tonight. 2 for 3. Joe Kerrigan coming out. I'll talk to Lowe about how they want to pitch Chipper Jones. And you know what could be happening here? Remember, Don, about, let's go back 10 days to 2 weeks ago. Frank Malzone, a Red Sox scout, was following the Braves for about a week. Now, he may have sent in a report based on what he saw that Chipper Jones was struggling a little bit from the left side of the plate.
Bat lagging through the hitting area.
So he may have had a suggested pitching pattern for how to go after Chipper Jones, which may be totally different now that that bat's gotten quicker. And maybe a couple of conflicting reports, because the Red Sox had a scout here last week too. So you had, one scout telling you one thing, one scout telling you something else. So they want to make sure that Lowe is thinking the right way on Chipper here, striking the outside corner.
Well, I think if I were Lowe, whatever I've done in the past, I'd keep doing it, because Chipper is hitless in 3 trips against him.
2 men out. 1 run in here. It's a 1-run game now. That is why when the advanced scouts are following a team, they're following a team for the immediate week to 2 weeks before the 2 teams get together, and sometimes only for 1 series or 2.
Yeah, you get a general book in spring training.
They want to find out what's going on now.
Who's hot, who's not. That section of Turner Field usually stays full.
Got Toronto here tonight, basically playing them right after the All-Star break on their trip to Yankee Stadium. Little roller toward first, fielded by Stanley. Can't get the throw away. Boy, that's another drop ball by a Red Sox infielder. Second time it's happened to Stanley tonight. It happened to him on a sacrifice bunt back in the 2nd inning. This one will go as a base hit.
It cannot be a base hit. I know they're giving him a base hit, but this is a play that should have been an out. Ho-hum. There's your spot for a team error if you want to give it. But that's not fair to the pitcher for him to make a pitch, get the play he wants, and it's a base hit.
Well, we'll mark it down, but lightly in case they change that one. They may. Here's Brian Jordan. He's 1 for 3. 1 ball, no strikes. Potential tying run down at second. A potential go-ahead run at first. And the Braves' best RBI man at the plate.
There's a pitch there that makes Lowe so effective. He throws with good velocity, but his ball, when he's got the right release point, starts it out knee high, just dives toward the plate. When he's on, there just aren't many balls hitting the air off Derek Lowe.
Grounder third, fielded by Veras. Good play by Veras, kind of in between hops there, but he stayed with it. And that enables Lowe to get out of the inning, stranding a pair of runners. It's 5-4 Red Sox. We're heading to the 8th inning.
Let's take a look at our Delta scoreboard. Something unusual in Cleveland. A pitcher's duel heading to the 9th inning. Woodard got his 10th win for Milwaukee. Tampa Bay, Florida, pitching duel early, but Florida's unleashed late. They're winning that one 11-4. Montreal over Toronto. 2nd homer the difference in that ball game. Philadelphia is scoring coming early. They're still leading in the 7th. Mets just got 3. They lead the Yankees 5-2. Cubs and the White Sox have a good one going in the 7th. Houston with 2 in the 3rd, 1 more in the 6th. Lead Kansas City. Pittsburgh at Minnesota. It's the Twins. Angels scored 5 early, and they lead Toronto 5-2. Everything else coming up a little bit later on. If you're interested in those scores and everything else happening, log on, in baseball that is, and sports, log on to CNNSI.com, because it's the ultimate address for sports. Good website.
There's your new pitcher, Kevin McGlinchey. 41st appearance of the year. 5-3, a 3.61 ERA. And a Massachusetts native, so all the folks back home are watching him pitch to the Red Sox here in Atlanta tonight. Mike Stanley, a home run in 3 at-bats, down in the count 0-1. Remlinger 2 1/3, no runs or hits. 1 walk and 1 strikeout.
Yeah, Kevin, very popular on a trip to Boston. Left a lot of tickets. Had his own chauffeur there driving him around town, one of his buddies.
Yeah, it's 0-2 on Mike Stanley.
I was talking to some Braves people who watch McGlinchey, and at AAA, I was told he had a split finger fastball that was virtually unhittable. It's the pitch we really haven't seen him unleash a lot up here. Fastball, slider, but not many of those split fingers.
2-2.
And I was told it wasn't a tumbler either. It was one of those that would just dive down and away from left-handed hitters.
High in the air, shallow right center. Easy play for Andrew. And gone.
And there's that pitch in the spot you were talking about earlier. Not at the belt, but more at the letters. And with any velocity at all, that's about the best most hitters will do with it.
If you watch McGlinchey when he starts his motion, he always starts with that split finger grip.
Yeah, he grips it, but I don't see him throw it very often.
Now Troy O'Leary. 1 for 3, a double in the 4th.
Here's a good guy to use it against.
Braves haven't figured him out yet. 389 against the Braves lifetime coming into this series. 1 for 3 tonight. One ball, one strike on Troy O'Leary. Away. You know, you look at a guy like O'Leary in the last couple of years he had 270, 23 home runs, 83 RBIs last year. He's driven in over 80 runs each of the last 3 years. Hit 309 2 years ago, 308 4 years ago, hitting over 300 this year. You think back, what did the Red Sox have to give up to get him?
Got him from Milwaukee, right?
Nothing. On the waiver wire.
Waivers.
He was placed on the waiver wire by the Milwaukee Brewers and claimed by the Red Sox back in April of '95.
What did he do the year before for Milwaukee?
273 in limited play. Spent most of the year at AAA. But it was just one of those situations where they were out of room on their roster.
Wanted to sneak him through, send him back to AAA.
What a steal that was for Boston. Simon gets the out at first, 2 gone. And the batter will be Lou Merloni, who's 0 for 3. And has struggled a little bit on this road trip where he's gotten a chance to play a lot because of Garcia Parra being out. He is just 5 for 28 now on the trip for the Red Sox. Framingham, Mass kid, went to Providence College. Been right around the Boston area virtually his whole life playing ball. Even AAA, it's been at Pawtucket the last 3 years. That's what he was doing there this year. Currently at 284 for Boston. Nothing in 2. McGlinchey trying for a 1-2-3 inning here.
Really looks comfortable tonight. His fastball is alive and he's locating it well.
He got him. 3-pitch strikeout of Merloni. It's a 1-2-3 inning. And we're going to the bottom half of the 8th inning. The Red Sox still ahead, but just by 1 run. Bottom half of the 8th inning. It's 5-4 Boston, and Jimmy Williams has decided to go to his closer an inning earlier than most managers do, and the closer in the absence of Tom Gordon has been Tim Wakefield, who was in the starting rotation earlier in the year for the Red Sox. But since taking over for Gordon has done quite a job. His overall numbers for the year 3-7 with a 4.99 ERA, but he has 9 saves.
And I understand that this was a volunteer move on his part. He went to them and said, hey, you need somebody to close, give me a shot at it, I'll do the best I can.
Well, he certainly is a guy that can throw every day with that easy motion. Watch this motion. This is like playing catch in your backyard. Ryan Costco leads it off, takes ball 1. Knuckleballer. In the air to shallow right center field. Fonville drifting back, makes the catch, hangs onto it.
He doesn't worry about pull muscles, just torn fingernails.
Well, his history with the Braves, lengthy one all the way back to when he was with the Pittsburgh Pirates in the early 90s.
There were some who said when the Braves beat the Pirates, they would have started him on 2 days rest. I believe in the final ball game.
Now, he was the one guy that a couple of Braves in particular had trouble with. David Justice, I know, didn't care much for having to go up there and swing against that knuckleball. Andrew Jones 1 for 2 tonight, a single. He's also walked once. Wakefield's really had an up and down career. He's had some great years, and he's had some years when he was almost out of the game. The knuckleball's been a very inconsistent pitch for him. He first came to the Pirates in '92, and he went 8-1 with a .215 earned run average. The next year, by midseason, he was back in the minor leagues, and 2 years later, he was 5-15 with an ERA of almost 6 in AAA. And then Boston revived his career in '95. He was signed as a minor league free agent. He was released by the Pirates during spring training in 1995. And that's how far down he had gone. Runner at first, 1 out.
1992 was the year when the Pirates and the Braves went at it. He made 2 starts. He had 2 complete games, 18 innings, a 3 earned run average, but they resisted the temptation to run him out there in that final game on 2 days rest. Actually, 1 day. It would have been the second day.
Runner at first, 1 out for Randall Simon. Braves down by a run. Now, one thing a knuckleball pitcher has to be careful of: stolen bases and pitches that might get away from his catcher.
And usually a knuckleballer has a good move to first. Niekro had one. Springer had one the other night.
There goes the runner. Fly ball right, shallow. Here comes Lewis. Andrews scampering back to first. And there are 2 men out. Well, almost all the knuckleballers down have that same delivery out of the stretch. They hold that ball right out in front of their chin, so they don't have much of a move to make to go over to first.
And a lot of them, too, will stop in a couple of different places, so it's hard to read where they are.
That's surprisingly good success against Wakefield. Most knuckleballers.
Yep. Right where you started, right where you said, and he just goes down and straight.
Well, now Eddie Perez, double his last time up. 1 for 3 on the night. That's an 80% success rate against Wakefield. So unlike a lot of, I am surprised at that.
I know Phil Niekro used to be hard to run on, and Springer baffled a few Braves base runners the other night.
Taking for a strike, 0-1. Yes, they are operating the radar gun. Why? I don't know. 67-mile-an-hour knuckleballs are.
Because the alarm clock's tied up.
0-1 the count. Pitch out, runner going, throw to second, right on the money. He never even got there.
Smart, great call, and well executed. He didn't give it away.
Going to the 9th inning.
There's a look at your score. We invite you to stay with TBS after the game as Richard Pryor stars in the Critical Condition on Dinner and a Movie. The name of it is Critical Condition. Paul and Annabelle have got the ovens going, and they are preparing Code Blue Berry Tarts. That's next on the Superstation. That is one heck of a combination. The movie is Critical Condition.
Well, here we go in the 9th. Kevin McGlinchey had a 1-2-3 8th inning. Wilton Veras, a home run, a strikeout, a fly to right. Ball 1. In at third for John Valentin, who's still out after being hit in the head with a pitch. 2-0. They brought him up. Veras from Double-A ball. He was playing at Trenton. Hitting .307 there.
Well, he's aggressive, isn't he?
Seeing a lot of that. This is something that you hardly ever used to see a few years back before those last two expansions. You hardly ever saw a player, especially a position player, promoted from Double-A straight to the majors. But now, most organizations only have one or two really top prospects at each position. And if a spot becomes open, they'll bring up one of them, whether he's at Double-A or Triple-A, wherever he might be.
I don't know that I think it might be all wrong. If I were running a minor league system, I might pick the area of the country, not necessarily where it's Double-A or Triple-A, to train. If it's a ballpark that's conducive to hitting, I might send all my best hitters there, but I don't know that I would send my best pitchers. If Triple-A was a hitter's park, I might send my best pitchers to Double-A.
Here's Varitek now 0 for 2 with a walk off the glove of McGlinchey. Nice diving stop by Weiss. Let's see if he can get him. I think he did. Yes. Greg Bonet waited to make sure that Randall Simon held on to the throw and then made the call. Good play by Walt Weiss.
Two things I want you to watch. Watch the recovery, how quickly back to his feet, and the stretch on the other end by Randall Simon. And Randall Simon, on this play, he didn't move his foot toward that ball till he saw which way it was headed. Good play on both ends.
Tim Wakefield 0 for 2 as a hitter this year. And in the hole, 0-1. 0-2. One thing he can do, most managers like to use their closer only for an inning at a time. Wakefield is one of those guys, because of that easy motion. He can go 2 innings tonight. He can come back and go 2 innings tomorrow. You don't worry about burning him out if he has to go a couple of innings on a given night.
Well, the book on him is he can only go a week at a time.
Now, there have been some good knuckleball pitchers that have been in that bullpen. You can start with Hoyt Wilhelm in the Hall of Fame. Bill Niekro began his career in the major leagues as a relief pitcher, picked up some saves before becoming a starter.
I think Wilbur Wood spent a little time there.
Another 1-2-3 inning for Kevin McGlinchey, his second strikeout. Now we'll see if the Braves can pull one out in the 9th inning. Due up Eddie Perez, the pitcher's spot, and then Walt Weiss. Well, a one-run contest here as we go to the bottom half of the 9th inning. Braves with one more crack at Tim Wakefield, who's trying to save it for Bret Saberhagen. A sellout crowd tonight of just under 50,000, 49,636 the exact number. Final in from Cleveland. The Cincinnati Reds held on, beat the Indians. Boy, the Reds are tough on the road. Cincinnati on the road this year, 28-12. They just beat Cleveland in Cleveland, 3-2.
What does our friend Hal McCoy call them? The big road machine?
Yeah. Well, we're going to get Otis Nixon on to pinch hit for Eddie Perez as the Braves try to get some speed on the base paths to start off the bottom half of the 9th inning. Otis has struggled offensively all year. 174 as a pinch hitter, 2 out of 12. And the first knuckleball gets by Varitek. That's another danger if Wakefield has a base runner. You throw one of those knucklers that the catcher can't handle.
I think Charlie Williams almost called that a strike till he saw it go off the mitt to the screen.
Here's the 1-0. That one had Otis Nixon bailing. It was up high, 2-0. Keith Lockhart is on deck. There's a strike.
That's his fastball, and that radar gun reading is accurate.
Just under 80. Here's the 2-1 delivery. Upstairs, ball 3, 3-1. It's a Full count now, 3-2 on Otis.
Took a little off his fastball then.
Little roller down the right side. Wakefield fields, throws, hits the runner. They're going to say that he ran out of the baseline, and they're not going to win the argument. Here comes Jimmy Williams out to argue now.
Well, we'll let him argue for a few seconds, and then we'll let you decide the issue. Jimmy Williams knows the rule book.
He knows the rule book by page and number.
Yeah, you just pick a page and a paragraph and a line, and he'll tell you what's on it. He knows the rule. Okay, here you go. And he was inside the line. This is a better angle. Otis Nixon.
He took one step that might have been a little questionable. He's okay there. You'll see him take one step when he gets about 3/4 of the way down. It looks like it might be out on the grass.
2, 3. Yep. Those 3 were inside.
It'll go as an error. 3rd error of the night. It'll be on the throw by the pitcher. It puts Otis Nixon on at first, and now Keith Lockhart on the pinch hit for Kevin McGlinchey. Lockhart 216, a homer, 7 RBIs, 8 for 36 as a pinch hitter, and he takes ball 1.
Braves are not playing to tie because Lockhart didn't show bunt on that.
Has not sold Veras on it yet, though. Veras still camped in on the edge of the grass at 3rd. Two and 0. It's 2-1 now on Lockhart.
One of the great things about a knuckleball is it's so hard to predict what it's going to do. One of the worst things about a knuckleball is it's so hard to predict what it's going to do.
Runner going. The throw down will be late. Otis Nixon has it stolen. That is his 16th steal of the year. He still leads the Braves in that category.
And that wasn't even as close as it appeared. He's on the move before Wakefield ever delivers.
So that's the tying run now down at second base. Nobody out. A count of 2 balls, 2 strikes on Lockhart.
Lockhart's got to figure a way to get him to 3rd.
Down on strikes. Dandy. Oh, the bottom just dropped out of that one.
The only way he could have hit this one is if he had swung straight down like he was chopping wood. Starts out tumbling and then just dives for the plate.
So there's 1 out now with a runner at second. Walt Weiss, the batter, snapped an 0 for 25 skid his last time up with an RBI single. Strikes. Stairs 2-0.
Nixon looks like he may be measuring him for 3rd too.
Here's the 2-0 on the way, and that drops in for a strike. It's 2-1. Flash Gordon was the guy in the bullpen all season long for Boston. And that long string of consecutive saves, remember, that was snapped by the Braves at Fenway Park. And he went out with elbow problems. They've also used Guthrie and Lowe in save situations along with Wasden. But Wakefield's become the guy, the prime guy, in the absence of Gordon. Here's the 2-1. That's the way that most hitters try to approach the knuckleball. Not swing hard at it. Just kind of try to meet the ball, put it in play.
Remember against Springer, the best at bats, some of the best at bats we saw were by Andrew Jones, who looked like he was playing in a soft pitch softball game. Slow pitch softball.
Knuckleball pitchers love guys with big swings.
They eat them up.
Here's the 2-2. Full count, 3-2 now on Weiss. Brett Boone waiting on deck.
Well, every inning that you have a knuckleball pitcher out there in a closer situation is a Maalox minute.
Here's the 3-2 on the way to Weiss. He takes it low. Ball 4. Runners now first and second. Still only one out. Brett Boone the batter. Boone tonight 0 for 4. Joe Kerrigan on his way. This may just be a don't give in talk to his pitcher. What I mean by that is just because you haven't been able to throw knuckleballs for strikes this inning as well as you did last, don't get away from that plan. Don't start throwing that 78-mile-an-hour fastball to hitters like Brett Boone and Chipper Jones.
It's another way of saying if you get beat on your number 1 pitch, not number 2 or number 3.
Boone tonight is grounded to short, struck out twice, hit into a 5-4 force play. Braves down by 1, runner at second, runner at first, 1 out, 9th inning. Ball 1. That found the strike zone, 1 ball, 1 strike. In the air, but he got under it. O'Leary called off now by Buford. Almost a collision out there. O'Leary finally giving way to Buford. 2-man gone, and it all comes down to Chipper Jones against Tim Wakefield. Chipper tonight is 3 out of 4, a home run, a ground out, a pair of singles. He now has 15 hits in his last 29 at bats. And for the season, his batting average up to .312.
I'm a little surprised Wakefield doesn't get a new ball. A slider pitcher, curveball pitcher would like a roughed up one, but a knuckleball pitcher wants a nice smooth one.
Does not get away far enough for the runner to move up.
And this ball is dirty, and see, that's a wonderful ball if you're a fastball or a curveball pitcher. But I'm a little surprised he doesn't get one that's got a little bit wider, smoother surface.
0-1 on Chipper Jones. There go the runners. The pitch is fouled back. So now it's 0-2, and both the runners will have to return. Weiss back to first. Nixon back to second. Jimmy Williams trying to get his team back from a 3-game losing streak at the hands of Tampa Bay.
He's trying to get Jason Varitek's attention. He wants to put something on, but Varitek is not looking in. You know, either pitch out or keep an eye on him or do something.
They're going again. The 0-2 just missed. Varitek wanted the call and didn't get it. You saw the reaction from Varitek. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And I think he's a little upset, Jimmy Williams that is, that he didn't get Varitek's attention.
Well, nobody knows Bobby Cox better than Jimmy Williams. Nobody knows Jimmy Williams better than Bobby Cox. They were together in Toronto before they were together in Atlanta, and we've seen cases of that throughout this game. Pickoff plays, pitch outs on 0-2 counts to get runners trying to steal. They almost know each other's minds so well that I think what Jimmy was saying, that he's going to do it again. He's going to send those runners again. Be alert for it.
And a pitch out would have gotten him there.
Yeah. Instead, Weiss got a stolen base. So did Nixon. They're at second and third now. 2-2 on Chipper Jones. There's the 2-2 pitch. Struck him out. And Tim Wakefield wins the battle, and Jimmy Williams wins the war. Final score, Boston 5, Atlanta 4.
And Bret Saberhagen with 6 1/3 tough innings, 6 strikeouts, gets the win. A clutch performance. Saberhagen is our AutoZone player of the game. A 4-game winning streak for the veteran right-hander. And we'll be back with the rest of the totals right after this. $49,000 trying to make their way home after seeing the Red Sox snap a losing streak, a 3-game losing streak, and win the first of 3 against the Braves by a 5-4 score. 5 runs on only 5 hits with 3 errors, and there could have been more. Sox stranded 4 at the Braves with 4 runs on 8 hits. They played airless ball and stranded 8. Give the win to Saberhagen. He's 6-2. Wakefield picks up his 10th save. Not a good night for Bruce Chin. He picks up his first loss. You see the home runs, and the Red Sox are now, Pete, 9-7 in games without which they've had their all-star shortstop.
Well, the Philadelphia Phillies won their game tonight. They're now 5.5 back. The Mets are leading 5-2 over the Yankees in the 9th inning. If they win, they'll be 4 back, so it could be a costly night for Atlanta. And you can log on to CNNSI.com for all the latest scores and news from around the diamond. That's CNNSI.com, the ultimate address for sports. Our next Braves telecast coming to you on Sunday against these same Red Sox. It'll be Greg Maddux against the young South Korean Jin Ho Cho. That'll be at 1:05 Sunday on the Superstation. Next, it's Richard Pryor starring in Critical Condition on the Superstation. We'll see you Sunday. For Don Sutton, Skip Carey, Joe Simpson, our entire crew, Pete Van Wern from Turner Field. Another 1-run game between the Red Sox and Braves. Red Sox win it 5-4. So long.
The proceeding has been an exclusive presentation of Turner Sports, a Time